The Game Awards was last night, and I need to eat my hat, because just after complaining about how the show was messy and really needing to find its footing, Geoff Keighley delivered one of the best showcases he has ever done. Everything that people have been memeing on Geoff for the past couple years has been addressed in pretty direct ways. No one was played off stage, there were fewer non-gaming celebrities, and the ones who were there all stayed in their lane, and in a move that truly shocked me, Geoff got on stage and said the one thing he has been talking around for years. The games industry sucks right now. So much of the awards show was acknowledging that things are bad, and they say this a lot. They beat you over the head with this message so thoroughly that I'm genuinely shocked some of these companies even bothered to make appearances. The whole segment with Amir Satva is going to go down as one of the all-time moments for the Game Awards. This normal guy who saw a place where he could be useful getting a standing ovation in a crowd full of the industry's finest. It's wonderful, it was emotional, and it really speaks to the Game Awards' ability to create a show that truly connects with people. That element of authenticity is something that I thought the Game Awards had been missing in recent years, but it's here in full force. You really get the impression that everyone on stage is having the time of their life. Except for maybe Harrison Ford, but that's just how he rolls. And this extends to the game announcements. Years past have been criticized for not always offering the greatest selection, and while I won't say that this was all big hitters, the highs were higher and the lows were far less frequent. An Okami sequel, The Witcher 4, The Outer Worlds 2, a new Virtua Fighter, a co-op roguelike Elden Ring spin-off. These are big deals, and I know we're all tired of Neil Druckmann, but I am so happy to see that Naughty Dog is finally working on something that isn't just The Last of Us again. But the biggest highlight for me has to be the announcement of a new game from Hazellight Studios. These guys just get it. Every single one of their games has been fantastic, and Split Fiction looks to be yet another co-op classic. And it's coming out so soon! And I can't talk about the announcements without mentioning Geoff again, because he hyped up every announcement like a kid waking up for Christmas. The enthusiasm from him throughout the show was not only adorable, it was infectious. It's hard not to be charmed by this grown man who's almost vibrating with excitement, stammering over his words about how cool he finds the next game. Geoff has always been this milquetoast caricature of himself on stage, but it's oddly endearing to see him like this. He's getting choked up over a video game trailer, he's just like me, for real. Even the awards were good. We had a lot of really solid titles released this year, but I didn't find myself disagreeing with any of the winners. Wukong has the best action, Metaphor has the best art and story, Final Fantasy has the best music, and I am so unbelievably happy that Astro Bot is our game of the year. As stated earlier, this last year has been an awful one for the games industry at large, and one of the worst offenders in that time has been PlayStation. From their $700 game box that makes games look worse actually, to their layoffs, to their focus on big, cinematic, far too expensive video games, to Concord, which is a perfect encapsulation of all of these issues, Sony has been making a lot of very annoying, very stupid decisions. But then here comes Astro Bot, a sort of sequel to a small, free experience created by a studio made up of talent from other dissolved studios that celebrates the legacy of the PlayStation we all remember before they started doing shit like this. And that wins Game of the Year, in direct opposition to the kind of big, cinematic, expensive video games that Sony wants to be making more of. It's poetic. That, and I also like when the Game of the Year is different. Out of the last 10 Game Awards, only 3 Game of the Years were not high-budget single-player action games, and one of those was fucking Overwatch, so it's nice to be reminded that these are in fact on the same level. People like to clown on Astro Bot for being a humble 3D platformer in a world where someone who's not familiar with video games would think 3 of these Game of the Year nominees are the same game, and a not very long one at that, but I think it just speaks more to the quality of the game that it managed to succeed over its frankly stacked competition. Also, I'm willing to bet most of the people angry about Astro Bot winning haven't played it, so let's start there. The Game Awards was great this year. You can really tell that they took all the criticism to heart, and I have to say, I knew you had it in you, Geoff. But if I may suggest one last thing, I think you should make Statler and Waldorf permanent additions. Watching them parrot back the exact same talking points everyone was using to criticize the show a week ago was a genius moment of self-reflection. See ya!